Everyone thinks the future is about innovation, AI, smart cities, green energy, but that's the cover story. The real future is about reducing the human surplus without a single bullet fired. And the system that is being built makes it look like progress. In the old world, humans were assets. More people meant more labor, more soldiers, more taxpayers. But technology flipped the equation. When automation does the work, people become liabilities. They consume resources and they produce nothing. From a corporate state perspective, they are dead weight on the balance sheet. Now, what happens to liabilities in any system? They are minimized, quietly, efficiently. You don't announce population reduction. You don't draft policies that say, time to eliminate 800 million people. You design the environment so people self-select out of life. First, you control food economics. Make real nutrition a luxury. Flood markets with synthetic hyper-processed calories. Why? Cheap to make, addictive to consume, and lethal over time. Obesity, diabetes, cancers. It's slow-motion euthanasia disguised as personal choice. And then you privatize survival systems. Hospitals, medicine, insurance. Turn health into a product, and when the bill comes and you can't pay, nature takes its course. No violence, no fingerprints. Meanwhile, you flood culture with distractions. War headlines, influencer drama, ideological cage matches, so no one notices the algorithm that decides who thrives and who quietly disappears. People think they are arguing politics, but in reality, they are debating inside the zoo enclosure, while the zookeeper holds the keys to their lifespan. This isn't genocide. It is market-driven selection, a corporate Darwinism where the unprofitable simply phase out. And the punchline? They don't kill you. They invoice you until you die. This is the most profitable extinction in human history. And is happening in slow motion while everyone thinks they are free.
This is 2 Ezra 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Rukakodash, which are the true Hebrew names of the Most High Father, Yahweh, which is Hebrew for He is, and the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose true Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai. That's Hebrew for He is salvation. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, with the house of David reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 130 Asherallah, who today were known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. Today's lesson is going to be talking about what that man said, market-driven selection, right? And whose market are we talking about? Well, Esau's market. And who is Esau today? Well, that would be your so-called Caucasian and so-called Israeli race, who together make up the nation of Edom. Okay, they are the biblical Edomites that descend from Esau. Okay, and this world that we are currently living in, all the inhabitants of the world are currently living in Esau's market, because he rules this world, even though he tries to hide it, even though he tries to place minorities in driving positions. He's still the one pulling all the levers. He's still the one making all the major decisions and able to command the world in his favor, right? To his will. Yes, you have other nations like Iranians, the North Koreans, the Japanese, the Egyptians, right? They have their own sovereign nation, but that only goes so far when they come up against these Edomites, right? They are subject to these Edomites through their policies, through their embargoes and whatnot, okay? And this is all biblical, okay? This is no surprise when you don't lie, okay? Because a lot of people like to, beat around the bush and make a lot of excuses, but it is a fact that this world belongs to the Edomites, and that's because it is biblically and divinely given to them to be in rulership at this time when we are at the end of Esau's world. Because again, this is prophecy. And like that man said, he put it together so beautifully, right? Showing how these devils, these Edomites who run this world, they don't have to shoot people with guns. They don't have to, commit these vast genocides and major wars, which they are doing in certain places, like in Ukraine or Gaza. But all they got to do, for the most part, is simply tweak the market dynamics. Like the guy said, right? They put out, cheap, highly processed foods to basically get people trapped up in the health trap, right? Make people basically eat themselves to death. They make organic food and real food a luxury item. They make healthcare a product, so that way if you can't afford it, you basically end up, like the guy said, self-selecting yourself. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And this is the time that we are currently coming up upon, Akim, right? The economy is on the verge of collapsing, and with all the things that have been going on in the market, and how right now the Federal Reserve is scrambling, and they're saying that they're going to lower interest rates because now it's evident that the market is basically on its way out, or it's basically going to collapse. Now, what is that going to do? Well, that's going to cause the market to basically react, and that reaction is going to then reverberate throughout the economy, which is going to translate into what we just read here, right? The jobs are going to go away. We're already seeing massive job layoffs. Okay, we have that recent headline with that said that a large number of so-called black women have been, fired. I think it was like 300,000 or something like that. And that's only the tip of the spear. There's going to be a lot more people losing their jobs. And that's because you have things like the fast food industry that basically protested for higher wages in this economy of high inflation, which you can't blame them because they really weren't making money, and because they were on the lower end of the pain spectrum, they obviously felt it the most, which is why they were the first to go out and require more to work. Well, they got the pay, but unfortunately that put them also first on the chopping block. So again, this is why we're seeing a lot more automated drive-throughs and automated processes, from your automated burger flippers, your automated pizza creating bots, right, to where you have a lot of AI order taking now. Okay, just like the man said, right, the market and technology has flipped the dynamics where these Edomites in power, they no longer need all the people in the world, right? They now see, they've even in themselves, right, through the mouth of that devil Nora Harari, which is like the World Economic Forum talking head. He said, man, there's a ton of useless eaters now, right? And when asked, what is this new world economy going to do with all these people who just won't work anymore because they're going to be the useless class? Well, he said, well, we're going to go ahead and satiate them. We're going to give them drugs and video games. And he didn't say it, but he highly implied that they're going to basically let them kill themselves off or self-select themselves. Okay, and that's what's happening right now, right? We're seeing that already, right? With these people who have been on welfare for a long period, where it's basically become a whole subculture, right? That you have a bunch of so-called black women, living off of the government till, okay, and they make this into a lifestyle, right? There was a viral video going out a couple months ago where you had this single mom who was living off of government assistance, basically chastising her son because her son wanted to get a job, warning him that if he got a job that it would affect her welfare. See, this is what Esau has made the people into, right? Willing servants. Okay, and that right there ultimately has destroyed not only our people but the whole world in general. Okay, and in doing so, you have a lot of people who have taken on the doctrines of these devils, and not only like their laws and their beliefs, but also in their authority, things like in their scientific information, right? Like, for example, we all remember when these devils were out there brainwashing everybody, telling them the saturated fats were bad for your heart, right? That eggs were bad for your heart, right? They're always coming out every other year. Oh, coffee's good for you. Coffee's bad for you. Coffee's good for you. Coffee's bad for the heart. Coffee's good for the heart. See, these are the babblings that these devils, put out there, right? Depending on whatever study pays the most and whatever think tank, whatever does, outcome they want, those results will get published and pushed out to the people, right? Now it's starting to be found out that the increase of heart problems were because of Esau's going away from the saturated fats, which were what? Butter, beef tallow, which is like beef fat, right? And going to things like highly refined seed oils, things that used to be used for motor oils, which these devils refined and filtered and used bleached and just highly processed to make them to be consumable to humans. But again, the people are now noticing that this is causing people's hearts to explode, right? People are starting to get Alzheimer's disease, for cutting out butter from their diets, right? Your brain is made up of the same thing, the same fats that butters create, right? Also, people who try to get on these low salt diets, they're getting high blood pressure. Because why? Well, because of this. This is 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. Now, this here is referring to ultimately Esau using science to disprove the scriptures, which ultimately, a lot of these, anti-scriptural beliefs have been proven to be wrong. But this also can go for these devils' way of life and how they push science, science TM, to influence the people to live bad lifestyles, to go the wrong way and to affect their livelihoods. Okay, we recently just came out of one of the world's largest psyop, where Esau gave out horrible advice and forced people to get a gene edited jab, right? And now it's coming out that these devils that this medical recommendation from these Edomites, that it does actually change your genome. And what did Trump do? He went out and made an executive order to remove everybody's status of them being jabbed or not, right? Because they want to start to remove all the evidence, so that way they're not held accountable. Because why? Well, because again, these devils use facts to lie, right? There was a famous interview with Bill Gates during the whole, pandemic, where he had on his table a stack of books, and one of them was titled "How to Lie with Facts." See, these devils, they'll make their own truth, and they'll make it sound, they'll make it sound sincere and as if it has weight. But the problem is it's so embellished with nonsense and psychobabble that the average Joe won't be able to discern that a lot of things that they say is a bunch of lies, that they're basically just embellishing, they're persuading you to believe what they say. This 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And that's these Edomite devils, man, going out and looking to see who they can devour, right? It is now just barely coming into the public's understanding that you shouldn't be going by everything that the doctor tells you, man. These, and I have family members that I myself, I started noticing that every time they would go to the doctor, they'd be scheduled for like 3-4 more appointments to get all these different things done, right? My grandma, she ended up getting over medicated, having all these procedures planned for her, man, right? And I remember I would tell her, I would say, Grandma, you don't always have to, go and do all these tests, and you don't always have to go in and see the doctor. But the thing is that these devils in authority, they have taken that authority that has been invested in them, and they are now using it to their advantage. And what is that? Well, to prey upon the people. And again, it's not just doctors, it's the government, it's these corporations, right? This system, which is, the Edomite empire set up around the world, is designed to basically devour you, to consume the people which it is purports to serve. Okay, like it tells you here, right? We have to be sober and vigilant. We have to watch out, and we have to be, not drunken on these devil's lies and embellishments. Okay, don't worry about the latest, fad drug. Don't try to get Ozempic. Don't try to get, whatever type of, fashion drug is the most advertised during the month. These devils, are putting these poisons out to make profits. And how do they do that? Well, by preying on your health, preying on your family, your people, right? That's what these devils do. And why? Well, because again, these are the devils that the Bible speaks of. It tells you here, your adversaries. And what is an adversary? That is basically your arch enemy. Okay, they are adverse against you. And when I say I'm talking about you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you Israelites, right? Your mortal enemies, the Edomites, the Caucasian and Israelis, they are in power right now, and their spiritual job is to be against you. So this system is not for us, okay? These devils will pretend to help us, but again, they're really only doing what they're doing is they're destroying us, right? I remember one fact about medical care that I found surprising, and I didn't believe it until I researched about it. But again, it's been a proven fact that so-called Negroes that go to, so-called, Negro doctors live longer. They have less medical complications, okay, versus the Negroes that go to doctors like Edomite doctors or Moabite doctors. They tend to have more complications. They tend to live less because, again, these devils do not care about us, right? They use us to profit off of. A good example of this is if you try to take your child to a pediatrician, if you choose not to vaccinate your child, a lot of these devils will turn you away because they are getting paid by the amount, the percentage of children that go to their office, go to their place of practice that are vaccinated, right? If they meet a certain quota, they'll get like a $30,000, $70,000 bonus, and they are not going to jeopardize that $170,000, $40,000 bonus for a couple of kids, for 20 or 10 kids not being vaccinated. See, these devils have made, the patients, the people that they're there to serve, into products. Like this guy said in the video, right? You have become a product, or healthcare has become a product, and if you can't afford it, or if you can't, or they can't benefit off of you, then they're not going to give it to you. This is Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And this is what we're currently living through, Akim. This is why the days are speeding up. This is why the frequency of the world has sped up, right? It's increased, right? If you look up the Schumann resonance, which is the frequency or the vibrational speed that the Earth vibrates at, it's now increased ever since, I think, like 2000, 2012. From that period is when the Schumann resonance, all of a sudden, from the time in which it was discovered back in the mid-1800s, it's always stayed very low, about 7 hertz. Back around 2000 to 2012, it's jumped up about, I think it's like at 70, 90 hertz now. And it fluctuates up and down, but it's been steadily at a higher rate. Okay? And they're saying this is because we are now in a new physical space, in literal space, which is a more dense location, hence making the Earth vibrate more, which is causing the Earth to be more agitated, and because it's more agitated, the Earth vibrates more. It's shaking more. Okay, and in that going on, it's causing the people and everything upon the Earth to also have a higher vibration. Okay, so that being said, this is why how the Lord has sped up the time, right? He has sped up the time, so now we, as humans, are now perceiving the 24-hour day as 16 hours. Okay, this is why our days go by faster, along with the Earth now having a faster rotation around the sun. This is why scientists are debating removing seconds off the yearly calendar, right? Because again, the Lord knows what these devils are up to. They know how the Earth has been turned into a market for gain. Okay, and like it tells us in Wisdom of Solomon, that they consider our life here a market for gain, and say we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. See, these devils, they don't care about your health. They don't care about your life. They care about their bottom line, right? About their people. Okay, though they pretend that they're there and loving everybody and they want everybody to prosper. No, man, these devils are out there for themselves. Okay, and the Lord knows this, which is why the Lord is making sure that He's making the days go by faster. Because why? Well, because for the elect's sake. And who are the elect? Well, the elect, as the apostles have taught, starting with Abba Bivens, that the elect are the one out of every 3 Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and anybody whose father's lineage goes back to that bloodline. That includes the 144,000, teachers, prophets, and then the 1/3 of Israel, okay, that are going to be saved and not have to die to enter into this new reset of the earth, which is going to basically be heaven upon earth, where the Messiah Yahweh Shai is going to reign over the earth, along with us Israelites, who are going to be co-rulers with him. Okay, the other 2/3 of our people, the 2 out of every 3 Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and anybody whose father's line goes back to that bloodline, because they haven't woken up in time, because they've been rejected, because they went back into the world after learning this truth, they are going to have to basically be their own sacrifice and basically die on Esau's altar as a sacrifice. So that way they could then be reborn into the kingdom, and then they'll be okay, right? They'll be able to then enjoy the kingdom of heaven that the Lord's and the Israelites are going to create, using these other nations to build up the kingdom. This is Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. And that's going to be the story of these Edomites. So you see, these devils, they have an agenda that they are currently basically pushing forward, right? They're currently commencing on this, agenda to depopulate the earth, to bring down the world population to 500 million. And that doesn't include you Israelites, you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, right? This only includes these Edomites and a very small number of minorities, right? Other heathen nations that, that they are going to allow to live on to service the system, this new world order system that they're planning on bringing forth. But again, like the Bible tells us here, that when these devils are going to get close to, finishing this agenda, right? They're gonna push out the mark of the beast. They're gonna reset the economy to this new digital system, so that way it can facilitate the implantable RFID microchips, which are the mark of the beast, right? They're going to erase a lot of these sovereign nations' borders, and they're going to make a one world order, just like all the way back in the beginning of the Bible, in the time of the Tower of Babel, when King Nimrod, basically the world's first Antichrist, tried to bring all the world together in one and ultimately worship him. Well, these Edomites, they're doing the exact same thing today, where they're basically going to bring all the nations of the world into one to worship them, the Edomites, and basically have a one world order where they're going to come up against God. But again, like it tells you here, right, when they are about to fulfill that agenda, when they're about to fill their belly, then the Lord's going to strike them through and destroy them. And how is he going to do that? Well, World War III is going to break out. They're going to lose control. The nukes are going to ultimately be launched, and then these devils are going to basically be fried. And when that happens, the chariots are going to show up. And when I say chariots, I'm talking about the so-called UFOs, UAPs, which are going to be the angels of heaven along with the Messiah coming back in these, floating, metal mountains, right? These so-called UFOs, and they're going to be humongous, right? And along with those nukes, they're going to be raining down, bombs upon the westernized powers, America, NATO, Israel, right? And other places around the world. You're going to have these chariots also just blasting the shit out of the world armies that have been gathered there in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, right there in the so-called Middle East, right in the Levant area. They're going to be decimated, wiped out. And again, these chariots are going to go all over the world and just take out all the status quo and cast down all the thrones, as it tells us in the scriptures. So again, Akim, we're close. We can see these devils, they're bringing us to the edge of Jacob's trouble, right? We're about to go through that tribulation. It's already starting now, right? A lot of people are feeling that pain, but that's because ultimately they're getting judged right now by the Lord, man. One of the Akim on Instagram, I follow him. He's always posting judgment videos, man, and it's sobering to see how horrible these judgments are. But again, these judgments have to come. But either way, just wanted to share this lesson to show you just how maniacal and how vicious and systematic Esau's system is. Though it may seem like it's just all designed this way, it's designed this way for a purpose, and that is to destroy, devour, and just put you Israelites into the ground. So again, this place is not for us. We have no continuing city here, and this place is going to destroy us. This is why the Lord has told us to come up out of the ways of the American Empire, basically really the ways of Babylon, which is for the most part the westernized lifestyle, but namely the ways of America. So again, hopefully this video was edifying, Akim. Until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem El Shai, Ba'Shem Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.